Hello, good to see you again. The topic of this conversation is why God has to be male. Now, once in a while I hear a feminist who say that, God is female or God can be female. And so I thought it would be quite a good idea to have a bit of a conversation about this. So my background, I'm an Osho Zen sannyasin. For those of you who don't know, I took sannyas with Osho, the contemporary Zen mystic, back in 1984. Interesting times. It was from Osho that I learned to challenge everything for the truth, which fits with my INTJ personality type. So, why God has to be male? So let's just coming back to there's a female energy and a male energy. They both have qualities. So the female energy is more like these are generalizations, traits, character traits. The female energy is like it's like open, receptive, waiting, soft, whereas the male energy is much more outgoing, it's targeted, it's a bit more aggressive, it's focused. And both men and women have male and female attributes. It's like that yin-yang symbol. So some men will have a lot of male energy and a little bit of female energy, and some men will have a lot of female energy and a little bit of male energy, and the same with the women. You get women who have a lot of female energy, a little bit of male, and some women have a lot of male energy, a little bit of female energy. It's a yin and yang thing, right? There's no dispute about that. But there are those traits which we sort of say, this is feminine, this is masculine. So, and you can take it back to like the egg and the sperm, the human egg and the human sperm. So there's the egg, and there we have 1 million sperm. So the egg sits there and waits patiently. And then these 1 million little spermies, and they're competitive. So these little spermies are all very competitive, and they swim really, really, really fast, as fast as they can be, because they're targeted. They're actually focused on actually getting to this egg. And it's a win-lose situation. And only one sperm actually gets there. There's no prizes for, every child gets a prize? You don't get it. The other sperm, they all die. It's only one actually gets, this sperm actually gets to the egg. Interesting enough, as soon as the sperm gets to the egg, it gets absorbed by the egg. Disappears. And then the egg just starts to grow. So just in that, you can just see there's female and male qualities. And then you could take the analogy into nature and say, well, you look at flowers, and the flowers are out there and they're attractive. They make themselves attractive. They have colour and scent and fragrance and qualities like this, and they don't go anywhere. They just wait and they attract. And then the bee is flying around. He goes, oh, there's a pretty flower, and he aims to, goes over to the flower and pollinates the flower. So we see these male-female attributes, aspects, traits all the time. It's hardwired in. It's there in nature. So when it comes to the search for God, well, searching for God implies it's an active process. It's an active process. So, well, where do you look? First of all, where do you look? And then you might know where to look, but can you actually get there? And then when you get there, do you have the eyes to be able to see and recognize God? Because it could be like you're out there, you're knocking on the door, you're knocking on the door and you go, hey, does God live here? The guy says, no God here. You go to the next house, knock on the door. Hey, is God home? He goes, no, God hasn't been here in ages, Knock, knock, you go to the next door and say, hey. And there's a guy standing with a beautiful smile on his face and you look and you go, nah, sorry mate, wrong house. You have to have the eyes to be able to see and recognize God when you find him. So the solution to find God, is to give God male attributes. So you make God male, and that means we have to make ourselves female so that God can find us. Now, if we come back to the 7 subtle bodies, and most of you should be familiar at least with the 7 chakras. So those 7 chakras, you see those maps, and the chakras are like little doorways to each of the subtle bodies. So you start with the physical body, and then there's the etheric body, and then there's the astral body, etc., goes all the way up. And it's almost like there's a candlelight in the middle, the center, which is this one here, and then around the outside there are these, what they do on a lantern. There's a glass goes around it, another glass, another glass, another glass, another glass. Anyway, so you have the 7 subtle bodies. Each has an inner and an outer. So just keep this very simple, and so I don't get distracted. We come back to your physical body. So the physical body is the first subtle body. Okay, it's not that subtle, but it's the first body. Physical body, for me, it's male, which means the inner is female. Take a woman, external is female, means the inner body is male. So, which tells you something, because if you're going to be active, if you can't use male attributes to find God. If you make God female, that means you have to make yourself male to find God. And it's just like you're going to be out there in all of eternity. And as the mystics have proven over and over again, you want to find God, you make yourself receptive, make yourself female so God can find you. So in a way, it's stacked against the women. It's the way that it is. So you have to learn how to work with your subtle bodies. So to find God, you have to prepare yourself. Now what's really important is that, okay, you can't find God by being lazy. It doesn't work that way. You have to bring an intensity and an urgency to the task as if it's the last moment of your life. Now you might think, well, that's not very meditative. Well, just think of it like this. If a surfer, for a surfer to surf a 20-meter wave, do you think he or she can just go out there and just go, oh, I'm just going to go surfing. Oh, yeah, here's a wave. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's just really easy. It's not like that. The surfer does 10 years of hardcore practice, and it's only a few who actually have the physical strength and the qualities required in order to be able to surf a 20-meter wave. Doesn't matter, men or women, the same. Only a few have the qualities to be able to do that. So they do the preparation. So then when there's the opportunity to surf the 20-meter wave, they can do it. But they have to bring an intensity, urgency, because they can't just say, let's do it tomorrow. It's there right now. And they have to be alert. They have to be very present. So it's the same with meditation. You don't just sit in meditation. You don't just do your yoga and just, it doesn't work that way. It's like you do your meditative practice, and it's arduous. It may take decades, but you do that practice. And this is where it's almost like you have to be an extremist. And if you have a look back at some of the mystics, those who are best known, you'll find that they were actually extremist personality types. So, meditation. You prepare yourself, which is you could say it's masculine, it's a male energy. But then when you actually sit in meditation, you then sit quietly. You be receptive. You be open. So you take on female attributes. And you have to remain alert. And it's like you wait patiently. So these are like feminine aspects. I know some people are going to sort of slay me for this, but it's besides the point. And so there you are, you're waiting patiently. And God is like the bee that flies by. So God's out there, it doesn't even see you. And then maybe after some decades or years of meditation or something, anyway, so your bud starts to open. And God comes by and goes, but what does a bee do when there's a bud? The bee doesn't go to the flower unless it's actually open. So then you're there and you open yourself, and then one day God comes by, he flies by, and there's you, a flower. You've opened, you're receptive, and God just flies straight into you. So that is why God has to be male. You give yourself those feminine attributes, and he will find you. So I'd be interested to hear your comments. So leave your comments in the comments box below, and I'll talk to you soon. And remember to keep on challenging everything for the truth. I've spent my entire life doing that, and I would like to share some of my discoveries with you. Whether you're an atheist or believe in a higher power, my book on God is sure to get you thinking. And part and parcel of spirituality is learning how to work with your unconscious mind, such that you can quieten the mind and get yourself to sleep when you need to. And that includes the ability to banish bad habits like cigarettes, marijuana, alcohol, chocolate, and overeating. And as a foundation to a fulfilling life, I believe everyone needs to learn how to work with their unconscious mind, how to explore deep trance and states of deep meditation. If you want to connect, you can find me on Facebook at Abbey Eagle School of Meditation.